Every spin of the concept machine gives me a completely random project brief. I get 10 minutes to sketch it, and then Nano Banana turns that sketch into a presentation that would have taken me 3 days to build. Let's see what we got. A spec developer wants a cabin in a forest clearing with a cantilever. Okay, here we go, people. Spec developer, forest clearing, cabin, and cantilever. Let's see, I'm going to grab my technical brush. Forest clearing. And let's say that the cantilever enters in because you come up, you approach this thing through a forest path. Maybe that's it. You approach through a forest path. It winds around the mountain. It comes to the site. It's a clearing in the forest. And then some sort of cantilever. And why would there be a cantilever in a forest clearing, especially for a developer? I don't know. So let's see. One option it would be that you get there and that cantilever allows, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I got an idea. Let's do this. Let's have a forest clearing, but it's over a beautiful river, okay? So we have a river. We have a cabin. It's going to be cantilevered out over a river of sorts. And maybe there's some stairs up. And let's see, a cabin is going to have a traditional cabin iconography, perhaps. That would be some sort of large boards on the outside. So let's give it some large boards on the outside. Or logs, typically. Let's go with a scale, first of all. If a person is about this tall, and let's make him this tall, okay? And let's say that the cabin has a kind of an entrance over here, and then it's going to be down here. Let's have an intermediate pool. Maybe a pool that gets fueled from the stream that goes by. Let's have a beautiful trout stream coming down from the mountains. And at this point, there'll be a waterfall. Now, I've got it in elevation, so I'm in kind of a jam here. That's the general idea that I want. And let's see, I can't completely pull off this cantilever. Let's see if we do something like this. And maybe these are the stairs that come down. And those stairs, I'm drawing in elevation right now. I'm designing in elevation, which is kind of unusual. But I'm going to switch this to 3D soon. So I'm going to have this. I'm going to switch to an eraser and just quickly get rid of a few things in case I run out of time. So let's see. I've got a beginning of an idea here. So there's this pool that comes down. It's going to fall off this cliff or something, okay, when it gets to here. But there are going to be these trees all around, as we know. So let's see. Let me fix this first of all because I need to get a more perspectival view of this. So I'm going to keep this lightly in the background. I'm going to turn down this, and I'm going to say that the whole idea here is that we get to the top of this interesting place. That's not going to work. Oh, 6 minutes. Okay, I'm getting close. Don't have to worry quite yet. I need to be able to see this massing that we've created. Let's see, I had that before, and I want to have this cabin and this cantilever like this, and underneath that will be the pool that we mentioned, and then there'll be these stairs down, and then stairs back down again to the pool, and then that pool is fueled and it drops off like a trout stream or something is going to be dropping off. Okay, so again, I don't have it yet. Let me go to my flat marker, and maybe that'll help me visualize things a little bit quicker. So I want to see this massing, and this is the cabin going away from me, and it's turning into a little bit of an aerial, I guess. So there's now I use this kind of thing, a flat brush sometimes, as almost as an underpainting because it helps me visualize what I'm doing a little bit better. And here's going to be that stream and that pond, and then there's going to be the fall off, and there's being rocks here, And let's call this a tough rocks here, and then there's the waterfall that falls off. We're not going to see the waterfall, but we're going to see the very still pond underneath. And then this cabin's going to go up like this. We're not going to be able to see the front entrance the way I was thinking we would. And then it's going to be covered with trees. So let me get some lines on that real quick. I'll switch to the technical pen, and I'll say that this is my, it's going to start to work a little bit better. Now, I'm trying to choose vanishing points that make sense out of this, okay? So I'm going to have it go off the horizon's going to be up here somewhere, and that'll be true on both sides. And it's not quite as cool as I wanted it to be. Here's my log cabin, and this is going to be like maybe it's a cutout, because you can see in there, and it's sort of like the exterior deck maybe, and should probably go back deeper. Let's see what that does. Okay, so here's that, and these stairs go down, as I said, and then they get to the bottom and they come back this way. So this cantilever has to happen about there, say, and then the stairs. And I wish I had more time. And then here's our plunge pool, and it's right next to the stream, and the stream is doing this. It's this beautiful trout stream. Oh, I don't know what we can do. Why don't we do this? Let's have the waterfall coming down in stages here and up there, little ripples, rocks in the stream, that kind of thing. And here is the bedrock that it's built on, the ledge. It's one of these very rocky kind of Catskill sites, let's say. And then you'll come around, there's this forest clearing, there's this path that comes through the woods and arrives at the house. And then this is going to be the fall off. I'm going to make some very angular rocks here, and let's make some rocks here that border the stairs down, and people are in the plunge pool down below enjoying themselves. And now for the trees. Okay, I got to do something fast for the trees. Let me add some more shade first of all. I'm going to go back to the flat marker. I've got about 2 minutes left. I'm going to make it so Nano Banana can understand this a bit better. These are going to be the windows. Let's make some cool looking windows along the side, sort of unconventional, that might create more privacy of some kind. I really don't know what I'm doing there, but I'll go back to the technical pen. I've got about 1.5 minutes. So this would be like a contemporary idea for letting light in. That's a little bit different. Shingle roof? No. Oh, no. We want standing seam, baby. Standing seam all the way. Okay, so I got this part. People are arriving on the trail. They're waving. That's our scale. I need some water here quick. I'm going to go with water so Nano Banana knows what I'm trying to do. And I'm going to make this the river. This is going to be the stream. Here's the plunge pool. Here's the stream. Here's the happy trout. There's the waterfall number 1. Goes back up, waterfall number 2. Now I got to do trees. I have very little time left to do trees. And I'm going to use the famous Nicky roll brush. And I'm going to come in here with these trees and say that there's a bunch of trees in the, bunch of trees in the background. Like this, like you'd see in a pine forest, all the way down, and then they disappear in the fog. And I'm going to make them a little bit bigger as we get closer. Okay, and then really big as we look through the trees in the foreground. And who knows how this is going to turn out. But I do need a little extra time at the base here. I want to go with a flat marker and differentiate the foreground from the background, okay, in the front shore. Here's that. There's the foreground. There's the ground that the cabin is on. And here's the distance. We're not really going to see the distance, okay? Oh, boy. I'm going to cheat just a little bit. I'm going to put some shadow here just so Nano Banana knows what's going on. I mean, come on. You got to give me a break. 10 minutes, that's all? All right, I'll stop there. And let's see what we have, shall we? Hey, folks, quick pause. If you want to learn how to sketch in a simple, clear way, not about talent, but about describing your design accurately so AI can turn it into a faithful image you can actually use, there's a link below to join the waitlist for my next live draw-along workshop. And in the meantime, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more tips like this. Okay, back to it. Now, everything I'm about to show is laid out step by step in the free file linked below, including the exact prompt, so you can just follow along. I go into Settings under Personal Intelligence and Instructions, and I copy the universal prompt that I keep there for all my projects. This is what triggers the interview that controls how Nano Banana renders the sketch. Then I come up to the upper left and start a new chat. Then in the lower right of the prompt box, I switch to thinking mode. Then I click Create Image. And next I upload my sketch, pulling it in from iCloud. And once that's in place, I paste the universal prompt from my clipboard and hit Submit, and that begins the interview process. Now I'm going to speed this up because all of these prompts are in that free file, but the important point I want to make is that I actually dictate my answers to each of these interview questions from Nano Banana. I'm terrible at typing, and I feel much looser and much more in touch with what I'm after when I'm speaking instead of typing. So the last question is about the narrative, and that's always my favorite because it's all about storytelling. I'm thinking about how to sell the design idea, bringing in people, entourage, and activity so the design starts to come alive. Then comes the fun part. I submit that final answer and hold my breath while Nano Banana does its thing, and then boom, that first image comes up. I click into it and I see the idea come to life with the details I asked for in a way that still surprises me even after doing this 100 times. And it keeps getting better at following instructions. So I follow up with different narratives, same design, but different weather, different activity, even construction sequencing, so a client can start to imagine how the project comes together over time. To learn more about the drawing and AI prompting techniques you saw today, or to join my live weekly draw-along workshop, all the resources are linked in the description below. That's also where you can download the final sketches and prompts and try this workflow yourself. To see the next video in the series, click right here, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, that's the outro.